Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at some big news out of Orange County, California. The Anaheim Ducks have named their sixth general manager in franchise history. A new era has begun in Anaheim. So we'll be going over that hiring today. So the Anaheim Ducks made a big move. As you know, really, this has been talked about now for the past maybe week, but it kind of came together fairly quickly. The Ducks were really, it seemed like for like about a month or two, really keying in on some of their candidates that are already in their system. The director of scouting, they were looking at Dave Nonis, who has been a general manager in Vancouver and Toronto in the late 90s into the 2000s. A couple of guys that have been kind of building their way up the ranks in Anaheim. I think he's spent a dozen years with Anaheim, one of the assistants. So they have a pretty good footprint of guys, as it seems like for now they're staying. But they named their next general manager Pat Verbeek. Pat Verbeek, this is his first gig as an official NHL general manager. He has spent the last couple of seasons under Stevie Y out in Hockeytown with the Detroit Red Wings. And even before that, he was a critical part. He was the director of scouting when Julian Breezeball was his assistant in Tampa. He was a huge part of some major guys that came into the NHL that we know today. We'll be going over all of that. But he has most recently, like I said, he's been up in Detroit as an assistant general manager for the Red Wings and has actually been the general manager of the AHL of the Detroit Red Wings, the Grand Rapid Griffins. So he does have a little bit of that appeal. He has that little bit of getting his feet wet in management as the guy in terms of the AHL, which obviously is a different scale compared to the NHL job. But he's been well groomed by Yzerman. And like I said, he's been with Yzerman for over a decade now. And I just made a video about a month or two ago about the Red Wings' really good collection of management. Maybe the Ducks saw that video and they were like, you know what, that Pat Verbeek guy actually looks pretty good. So I'm obviously just saying that, but I think that would be kind of interesting how Pat Verbeek kind of came up. Because there's always the next guy, right? Patrick Allvin was the big ticket item, right? He goes up to Vancouver. There was a lot of talk about Bill Guerin before he went to the Minnesota Wild. And now the next name here was Pat Verbeek. And I think what you look at in terms of recent draft, guys that have been drafted, a lot of that credit has been given to Pat Verbeek. So this is a comment on the Anaheim Ducks their Instagram account, and some of the fans gave some of their feedback. So I'm going to give you guys some of the pulse from the Ducks fans out there. So this is the first one. If anyone isn't sold, this guy is tied to drafting names like Nikita Kucherov. He's pretty good, right? Andrei Vasilevsky, Braden Point, and the runner-up for this year's Calder, which is Lucas Raymond, most recently with the Detroit Red Wings. So you look at those names, those are some pretty damn good hockey players. Now, again, a lot of those guys like Lucas Raymond were first-round picks, and you expect them to be good. But some of these guys are not. I mean, Nikita Kucherov was not a first-round pick or second-round pick for that matter, and neither was Braden Point. So those guys kind of came out from under the weeds, and a lot of that credit has been given to Pat Verbeek. So this is going to be the thumbnail of today's video. In Verbeek, we trust. That is the mantra for the Anaheim Ducks moving forward. The Red Wings have the hashtag Yzer plan. In Anaheim, it's hashtag in Verbeek, we trust. So very, very exciting here. And these are a couple more comments. The new era of Ducks hockey. Excited for this new era. A Stevie Y light is awesome in my book. Let's go Ducks. Exciting. Let's hope he has the Yzerman touch, which, again, this is going to decide how much of that was Pat Verbeek, some of those drafts, or was it really Yzerman? Exciting. Let's hope he has the Yzerman touch. Ducks fans should be happy today. Let's see how this goes. And then we got another one, the best candidate out of the bunch. Now, this is the point that I wanted to bring up because, again, no discredit to some of the other names that were mentioned. But I think that this was the right player. This was the right guy at the right time for the Anaheim Ducks. Now, whether you like him or you hate him, Bob Murray was a very business, old-fashioned general manager. And I think Pat Verbeek is not so far the other way, but is enough of that same mentality that I think he could really bring a lot to the Anaheim Ducks. And I don't know who he's going to be, having around him in his staff. Is he going to keep the Duck staff that's there? Because let's be honest, that's actually, those guys were in the conversation to take the job that he got. So a lot of those guys very highly thought of, highly sought after candidates. So I don't know how that's necessarily going to play out. We'll probably find out here over the next couple of months. But this is a really good day for the Anaheim Ducks. And to be honest, as a Ducks fan, I think that this gives more direction, because we've heard really over the past year, we heard about maybe John Gibson being on the move to the East Coast. The rumors about Hampus Lindholm. What is going to be Pat Verbeek's stamp on that? What's his stance on Rickard Rakell? He is going to have to evaluate those things pretty quickly here on the fly. A lot of those guys, maybe not John Gibson, but Hampus Lindholm, Josh Manson, Rickard Rakell, they are all pending unrestricted free agents in the next 6 months. So he's going to have to really get into his work boots pretty quickly here, and he's got to dive in head first and figure out what the Ducks are going to do. And I'm going to be making a video in the next couple of days about Hampus Lindholm, about that whole situation with the Anaheim Ducks. But I don't really know my stance right now. I kind of want to see what Pat Verbeek, his mindset is for the Ducks. There's a lot of different ways you could look at the Ducks. It's continue the process. Yes, we had a good season, but we want to continue to still stockpile draft picks. And again, the Ducks, as a smaller market team, they cannot afford to just lose Josh Manson for nothing this summer. Unfortunately, in their position as a wild card team, maybe third in their in the Pacific Division, you can't really afford to lose a Manson if you get bounced in the first round even. I mean, that's best case scenario possibly for the Ducks, and that's still not really where they want to be. So, again, it's one of those things that the Ducks could get a haul for some of these guys like Lindholm, like Rakell, like Manson. But I just wonder what the mentality is going to be here for Pat Verbeek. So we'll kind of get an idea of that. Like I said, as a Ducks fan, I am very excited for this hire. It's kind of reinvigorated my fandom of the Ducks, because it's been a little bit, again, obviously you have Trevor Zegras with the Michigan goals, and Jamie Drysdale, who's regressed a little bit from 2021, but he's still a very good player. Troy Terry. Like, the Ducks have a really good core that they're starting to build here. And I think that there's a lot more that has to be done in Anaheim. Unfortunately, though, it may come at the cost of some of their players that they already have that are probably going to be traded as rentals at this year's deadline. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of the Anaheim Ducks hiring this new guy here in Pat Verbeek. Do you think it's a good hire? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.